David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust in Nairobi, Kenya. The David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust operates the world's most successful orphan elephant rescue and rehabilitation program and is one of the pioneering conservation organizations for wildlife and habitat protection in East Africa. The David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust embraces all measures that complement the conservation, preservation and protection of wildlife. These include anti-poaching, safeguarding the natural environment, enhancing community awareness, addressing animal welfare issues, providing veterinary assistance to animals in need, rescuing and hand-rearing elephant and rhino orphans, along with other species that can ultimately enjoy a quality of life in wild terms when grown. The David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust works closely with the Kenya Wildlife Service, the Kenya Forest Service and local communities to achieve their long-term goal to secure safe havens for wildlife through the effective management and protection of key ecosystems in wilderness areas in Kenya. The David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust was founded in 1977 by Dr. Dame Daphne Sheldrick DBE in honor of the memory of her late husband, famous naturalist and founding warden of Tsavo East National Park, David Leslie William Sheldrick MBE. For over 25 years Kenya-born Daphne Sheldrick lived and worked alongside David, during which time they raised and successfully rehabilitated many wild species. Daphne Sheldrick's involvement with wildlife has spanned a lifetime, and she is now a recognized international authority on the rearing of wild creatures and is the first person to have perfected the milk formula and necessary husbandry for infant, milk-dependent elephants and rhinos. Since the death of her husband, Daphne and her family have lived and worked in the Nairobi National Park, where they have built the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust and its pioneering Orphans Project. The David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust operates a digital foster program which allows individuals across the world to support their field projects by fostering an orphaned elephant, rhino or giraffe in their care for themselves or as a gift. For a suggested donation of $50 per orphan per year, individuals receive via email a personalized certificate, an interactive map, monthly update on the progress of their orphan and a watercolor by CEO Angela Sheldrick. All elephant, rhino and giraffe orphans rescued by the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust are available to foster, including those orphans living back in the wild, and proceeds benefit the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust's conservation projects. The David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust's elephant orphanage is located in Nairobi National Park, Kenya, and is open to the public for 1 hour every day, excluding the 25th of December, from 11 a.m. to noon. During this time the orphans arrive for their midday mud bath and feeding. Entrance to the orphanage for the visiting hour requires minimum contribution of $7 US, 500 Kenya shillings per person. A gift shop is on site and visitors can also set up a fostering during their visit. On call every day of the year, the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust travels throughout Kenya to rescue orphaned elephants and rhinos left alone with no hope of survival. Many of the orphans rescued are victims of poaching and human-wildlife conflict and are in a terrible state of emaciation and distress. After each orphan rescue, the long and complex process of rehabilitation begins at the DSWT's nursery nestled within the Nairobi National Park. For milk-dependent elephant calves it is here, during this crucial phase, where they are cared for and healed both emotionally and physically by the DSWT's dedicated team of elephant keepers who take on the role and responsibility of becoming each orphan's adopted family during their rehabilitation. Each elephant remains at the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust's nursery in Nairobi National Park. until they are ready to make the journey to one of 3 rehabilitation stockades at Voi or Ithamba in Tsavo East National Park, or at their Umani Springs Reintegration Unit. This second phase of rehabilitation can span a period of up to 10 years as the orphaned elephants gradually transition back into the wild herds of Tsavo, taken at a pace determined by each individual elephant. To date, the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust has successfully hand-raised over 200 infant elephants and reintegrated over 100 orphaned elephants back into the wild herds of Tsavo National Park. More than 25 wild-born calves have been born to orphaned elephants raised in their care, living back in the wild. Supporting the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust's ground efforts is an aerial unit, which includes 6 aircraft and a helicopter, all of which are active in the field throughout the Tsavo ecosystem as well as within the Lamu district. Daily, the aerial unit takes part in security patrols and provides support to search and veterinary intervention for injured elephants and wildlife, as well as search and rescue operations for orphaned elephant calves and wildlife emergencies. Like us and join us at Extreme Collections for more fun and knowledge.